Hey educators, you are about to enter the Kokoda Schools project and you're about to learn a little bit about a colleague of mine, a man called Aidan Grimes. And I perhaps undersell him when I call him a colleague because Aidan's not only a colleague in this joint venture that we're calling the Kokoda Schools project, but he's a friend and he's an inspiration. And he's become an incredibly important figure in my life. I met Aidan in 2018 in Papua New Guinea. I'd been, I guess the right word is roped, into completing a trek along the Kokoda track. I knew it would take 9 days. I knew it would test my endurance. I knew I'd learn a little bit about Australian history, and I knew that I'd probably hear some dark and important stories about things that happened in the World War II campaign that Australia participated so heavily in. But I also had no idea what I was about to be in for. It started to crystallise for me at a place called Isarava, which we visited early in the track. And we sat for lunch and Aidan started to tell stories and he started to read poetry in the thick, unmistakable Irish accent that you're about to experience. Make no mistake. Aidan is no less a dinky-die Australian than anybody who can roll out the familiar Australian twang. Aidan knows more about not only the stories that have defined our country as we were forged as a nation, but he knows more about what it takes to be Australian than possibly any person I know. And at Isarava, the site of a bloody and brave battle waged by many Australian diggers, Aidan handed me a medal that day and asked me to carry it for the next 24 hours. That medal belonged to a digger called Stan Bissett, who has also become a bit of a hero to me. Aidan handed me the medal in the knowledge that I'm an educator, and he said I had a responsibility, and that was to tell the stories of not only Stan, but of all the diggers who are behind what happened at Kokoda and who perhaps I should have known more about before I started on the track. As we walked along the track, and my lungs and my knees and my back were sorely tested, I found myself in conversations with Aidan about this whole idea of making sure that Australian school kids got the chance to hear these stories and learn these lessons. And somehow, without me knowing it, the Kokoda Schools project was being born. And I realised that it wasn't just about Aidan's knowledge of the track that was going to be critical to mission success with the Kokoda Schools project. It was going to be about the fact that Aidan is one of the world's most foremost experts in personal well-being and growth and in team development. In terms of walking the track, Aidan has walked the track with corporate groups from Vodafone, from Apple, from Microsoft, people who lead some of the biggest and most successful teams in the world. From a sports point of view, Aidan has walked for years with the Hawthorn Football Club and also with the Brisbane Broncos from the NRL, and has taught them how they can learn about culture and how they can bond together as a team in such a way that winning mission success is more likely. In total, Aidan has walked with groups such as these, as well as police and with ADF groups and with Indigenous Australians across the track, at the time of recording this video at least, 124 times. Through his ability to connect people, Aidan was actually honoured by the then Prime Minister, John Howard, as the New South Wales Community Father of the Year. You can probably see why I refer to Aidan as not only a friend, a colleague and an inspiration, but something of a phenomenon. And below this video, you're going to be able to access some further information about that, because this video would be ridiculously long if I were to include all of Aidan's achievements within it. And so below this, you'll be able to download some more information about Aidan, and you'll also be able to find some information about Aidan's organisation, Our Spirit. If you have any inclination, not only to work with Aidan from a team building, well-being point of view, but if you have an inclination to walk the track, and if you have an inclination to experience what for me was the most powerful learning experience of my life, then you have to do it with Our Spirit. Not only with Aidan, but with the team of Papua New Guineans who come with you on the track, so that you can get an understanding of the perspective not only from an Australian and a military point of view, but also from the local point of view. Our Spirit is undoubtedly the world's leading provider in that kind of experience, in that kind of place. And I couldn't recommend them to you more highly than I do in this video. You are really going to enjoy the conversations, the stories, and the resources of the Kokoda Schools project. But accessing this app is just a small part of what we're capable of doing together in bringing those stories to kids around Australia. I really hope you enjoy the Kokoda Schools project. I really hope you enjoy the meshing of a truly wonderful historian and an educator like me. And I really hope you find the same kind of inspiration from Aidan's work that I do.